Well, as we told you at the top of the hour this week, Bloomington-based Cook Medical is putting its footprint in a socioeconomically challenged Indianapolis neighborhood. Now, what does it mean beyond the jobs and investment? A lot. And our insiders are here to weigh in on that and more. And I'm very happy to be joined in person by International School of Indiana Head of School, Elizabeth Head. Also, Winston-Terrell Group President Robin Winston. And the leader of Harmless Consulting, Mike Harmless. And welcome one and all to the Insiders.
Thank you.
We'll begin with the Cook Medical story, which I think is an interesting story for so many reasons. One, investment, $15 million. Ultimately could mean 200 jobs, Robin, but near northeast side of Indianapolis, the focus goes of what Cook is trying to do there goes far beyond the jobs and investment.
Well, it's tremendous. It's a public-private partnership. You've talked about Akila Darden and what she's done on recruiting XPE firms to be part of the process. It'll rejuvenate the neighborhood, create jobs. A grocery is going to be part of it. Goodwill Industries is involved. I mean, it's the perfect synergy to make a difference in a neighborhood.
Yeah, Elizabeth, as you look at that, companies are always looking for ways to make a difference in communities like that. This is something I think that is really potentially long-lasting, long-term, because they're employing people from the community. The grocery store ultimately is going to be run and owned, I think, by two local entrepreneurs, so it's really a great story.
The key word here is access. Access, because what it does is it allows people in the community to have access to resources that will truly benefit their lives. So they're partnering together to give back to the community, as well as the community benefiting from that partnership. So access is key here. Really proud of what Indiana's doing with that partnership.
Yeah. Mike, another part of town, downtown, specifically across the street from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, kind of near east side of the downtown area, $250 million two-tower project announced, an investment group led by Herb Simon. Big project, and part of what's going to be a really dramatic makeover of that part of town.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always very enjoyable to reflect on what the Simons have done for this community. Their loyalty, Herb and Mel, they have just been so loyal. The Pacers, this investment is just going to be spectacular, and it's really going to change that whole venue and what that area of town looks like. So congratulations to Herb Simon again.
Yeah. Robin, does it shift a little bit, just kind of the center of activity downtown, if you will? You've got the convention center, obviously, then you come east, toward Gainbridge, the sporting events, the things that are going to happen there with the skating rink and all the outdoor activities there.
Right. It's going to make that whole area sizzle. Don't forget, right down the street, the city-county building is going to have a completely new redevelopment there. Obviously, the former jail will have a redevelopment. That area that used to be a sleepy part of our city will be a sizzling part of our city.
Yeah. Another part of the Indiana economy that is sizzling and has continued to do so for some time is the ag biotech sector in Indiana. Big news this week, Salimtech secured $60 million in funding. That was just announced this week. A really big deal for them, the West Lafayette-based company, a Brazilian company that initially they said we're going to put our North American headquarters here. They say we're going to move the whole deal here, Elizabeth.
This is really important for Indiana. Indiana has to continue to keep the momentum of attracting foreign investment, foreign recruitment of talent for the workforce development issue. Indiana wants to stand out on the U.S. map for global industry. That's why we have an International School of Indiana. It's why we have an international center. It's why we have international routes at our airport. So this type of foreign investment, this type of commitment to Indiana is what Indiana has to continue to do to help the mission of the state thrive.
Interested in your take, too. The Global Economic Summit, the first ever here in Indiana, taking place race weekend, essentially, in Indianapolis. 800 people are registered. They're cutting off registration. They've got the former CEO of Google. They've got, I think, 24 ambassadors from around the world coming here. The global spotlight is going to be on Indiana.
Exactly, because this is one of the key components of why Indiana is a great place to live and work within the United States. They've attracted numerous different countries to attend. People, as you mentioned, 800 people plus. And what it does is it makes the focus on Indiana be so important of we're more than just one of the 50 states. We're a place where the world wants to be.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, it's interesting. Went down to the Derby several years ago. Was on the Derby train, and they were entertaining CEOs from I don't know how many different companies. I am so pleased that Indiana is highlighting the Indianapolis 500, bringing all these people to our state so that they can see not only the 500, but see all the other amenities and how hot Indianapolis is and how much is going on. Purdue's doing a great job. IU's doing a great job. We just need to keep our focus on economic development.
Yeah, as you look at that, Robin, and you've been around for a long time, as I have. I mean, Indiana seems to be its presence on a global stage seems to be getting some momentum.
Well, and think about the airport. There's a reason that we have a FedEx here because of the moderate weather. So I hope that it impresses upon those CEOs you can get in here. You can get in here to the best rated airport in the country, time and time again. You have excellent hospitality, and the kind of stories you're talking about, they'll be seeing the fruition of them.
Yeah, yeah. Another interesting story this week, the best firms to work remotely released this week, a Fishers-based company, Hubstaff. This company in Fishers has 90 remote workers in 28 countries. So very interesting. But the state of Indiana or different organizations really trying to get remote workers to live here.
Well, this is the beauty, right? People living on the coast, expensive, high cost of living. Now, if you work remotely, which that's here to stay, they can choose, where do I want to live, work, where do I want to raise my family? And so they're looking at states like Indiana. If you look at a school like ours, we've had an influx of families coming from the coast because they say, I want to live in a state to raise my family well, good cost of living, wonderful environment, great amenities, and it doesn't matter where my employer is. I get to be where I choose to be. And Indiana can really capitalize on this by attracting these families.
Yeah, yeah.
And firms that are not adopting this new approach to their employees are losing those employees because the employee is looking at their family and their time at work and their time off work, and so it's really smart strategy right now to be very thoughtful about your employees.
Well, and Mike, you and I both know from national politics, our friends between the Boston to Washington corridor and the San Francisco to LA corridor would never think that this would be in Indiana. And I think they'd fail a lot of trivia questions if you ask, but we know the answer, and it's a tremendous answer.
Yeah. Lots happening in and around Indiana. Great to have the insiders back in person, in studio. Robin Winston, Elizabeth Head, and Mike Harmless. Thank you one and all. And we'll be right back after this.